Deputy Chief Jim Raymer of Specialized Operations Command, and as well Staff Inspector Mike Earl, Unit Commander for Holdup, who will be updating us on the investigation of Project CBG. Deputy.
Okay, good morning everyone. Thank you for attending. The purpose of today's news conference is to update you on a multi-jurisdictional organized crime investigation that culminated in a series of arrests and search warrants yesterday. And before I begin, I would just like to acknowledge all the partners that participated with us in this investigation. And that's specifically York Regional Police, the Peel Regional Police, Halton Regional Police, the RCMP, CN Rail Police, Canada Border Services Agency, the Insurance Bureau of Canada, FinTrack, and as well as our international partners from Homeland Security. Project CBG began in April of this year as an investigation into a rash of vehicle thefts occurring in some of our more affluent neighborhoods here in Toronto. The Major Crime Task Force took charge of this investigation and was assisted by our organized crime units and major crime units from 22 Division, 32 Division, and 53 Division. As this investigation progressed, it became apparent that this was more than just some petty thieves that were hot wiring cars. In actual fact, investigators began to uncover evidence of a sophisticated organized crime ring with international reach that specialized in stealing high-end brand vehicles such as Lexuses, Acuras, and high-end Toyota motor vehicles. The individuals involved in this ring were not just the thieves themselves, but included persons that were offloading vehicles at rail yards, truck drivers, shipping company employees, locksmiths, and an employee of Service Ontario. I can advise that the stolen vehicles, and they were conservatively estimated at a value of $60,000 to $80,000, were being removed from people's residential driveways for eventual shipment to destinations in Africa via ports in Montreal and Halifax. Leading up to yesterday's raids, investigators estimate that this group was responsible for stealing approximately 500 SUVs in Toronto and other parts of the GTA. In terms of Toronto specifically, we believe this ring was responsible for 10 to 15% of the total volume of vehicles that are stolen in Toronto this year. In the vast majority of cases, the vehicles were stolen from the residential driveways as people were asleep at home. To put this in perspective, using a conservative estimate again, the value of the vehicles stolen by this group amounts to a staggering $30 million. During the course of Project CBG, investigators were able to recover approximately 200 of the vehicles, primarily from shipping containers destined for Africa, representing an approximate value of $11 million. And I'd like to also acknowledge the Spanish and Belgium authorities who assisted our investigators and were able to retrieve some of the vehicles from container ships. I can further report that during the course of yesterday's arrests, which involved the execution of 36 search warrants and 175 police officers, there were 18 individuals who were arrested, 6 remain outstanding on arrest warrants, an additional 10 stolen vehicles were recovered. In total, 640 criminal charges were laid. Additional offense-related property that was seized included numerous stolen car parts, digital equipment, including laptop computers, used to program the key codes, 2 tractor trailers, a locksmith van, and a fully operational chop shop in the west end of Toronto. Beyond the property related to the thefts, investigators also located illicit drugs, including cocaine, heroin, as well as illegal firearms, and specifically a shotgun and 2 semi-automatic rifles and ammunition. It is worth noting that this particular group was determined to have direct links to a notorious organized crime group known as the Black Axe. Originating in Nigeria, the Black Axe now has international reach and is known for engaging in large-scale fraud and money laundering scams. Just this past October, our service participated in an international investigation into individuals linked to the Black Axe who are alleged to have laundered in excess of $5 billion. I cannot emphasize enough the economic ramifications of organized crime on society. The effects are both significant and wide-ranging. In this case, it affects not only the individual vehicle owners, but the fallout impacts on insurance companies, with our insurance company and including our insurance rates, the vehicle manufacturers, the sales companies, as well as the costs and resources associated with conducting such a large-scale investigation. While these operations tend to fly sometimes below the radar, the reality is that they affect us all. There is absolutely no doubt that organized crime enterprises such as the Black Axe use the proceeds of these types of property crimes to further fund and grow their illegal enterprises. And in this case, those illegal enterprises are often offshore. While we are confident that as a result of Project CBG, this particular crime ring has been significantly degraded, we are not naive. History has taught us that there will be others, including further fraud and property offenses. Nevertheless, I can assure the public that despite the significant resources and costs associated with these large-scale investigations, the Toronto Service and our partners have never been more committed to proactively track, disrupt, and dismantle these groups. As you can see from the organizations represented here today, much of our success in combating organized crime is based on our collaboration and integration. I'd like to close by commending all the investigators involved in this investigation. As a result of their commitment and determination, Project CBG has brought to a successful conclusion, and a highly profitable crime group was disrupted. I will now invite Staff Inspector Mike Earl, who many of you know quite well, who heads the Major Crime Task Force and the Hold-Up Squad. Mike will provide you with significant details on the accused individuals involved and their very sophisticated method of operation. Thank you.
Thank you, Acting Deputy Chief. And thanks for attending this press conference. Starting in January 2015, there was a rash of motor vehicle thefts throughout the GTA, primarily in 22 Division, 32 Division, and 53 Division of high-end motor vehicles. The three unit commanders of those divisions are here today, Sam Fernandez, Sean Noreen, and Scott Gilbert. Over the course of the months leading up to this investigation, they put out numerous press releases, and even past that, on how to prevent your motor vehicles from being stolen in your driveway, because it was really an epidemic by these individuals. The community was concerned because overnight at 2, 3 in the morning, their motor vehicles are being stolen in the driveway that are feet away from their bedroom windows. On checks of surveillance cameras in the morning, they'd see individuals walk up to their cars and literally steal them within sometimes seconds, sometimes minutes. Some of them would take a little longer, but very quiet, no alarms sounding. So it was a frightening experience for those individuals, not knowing what's going to happen next. So it was something that was concerning for the Toronto Police Service. In April 2015, we partnered up, the Major Crime Task Force did, with the major crime units from these divisions and put a full effort into trying to identify these individuals. I have a PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to go through, just walk you through. It's not very, very complicated, just to explain the complexity of this investigation. The two individuals that were kind of the people that we were looking at from day one were notorious thieves that have been dealt with by the Toronto Police Service before for similar acts. And at that point in time, we recognized that these are the same individuals that are, again, responsible for more car thefts. The problem is they're already on bail with sometimes what I would call ridiculous conditions. Mr. Hussein, who you're going to hear about, is on bail for car thefts, and he has a surety or a condition of his bail that he has to be at home 24 hours a day unless he's out with an adult. Well, he's 26 years of age, and most of the other adults are car thieves. So it's very hard to enforce. So as we looked at these individuals, a web came forward that this was a sophisticated operation, and we had to decide as a police service and with our partner agencies, either we deal with the thefts at hand or we take the head of the snake off. So we went for the head of the snake, and that's what we hope we did in this operation. So I'm going to walk you through and explain kind of how this operation went, if I can figure out how to operate this. So brand new motor vehicles come into 2 yards in the GTA, which is Hanson's and Autoport. They're unloaded off of trucks and trains, and they're put into parking lots prior to their shipping to the dealerships. The individuals, the three people here that you're looking at on the page here, all work for Autoport or Hanson's. These are basically people that unload the vehicles. The initial thefts that we discovered were 2 keys and a key tag are zip tied together when these vehicles are delivered. So one key would go missing, and lo and behold, within days of them being sold, the car would be stolen out of their driveway. As we worked closely with these companies, they assisted us in this investigation. As we put the heat on, they changed their MO to photographing VIN numbers, and key codes, which are the pictures there. Those photographs, as we learned through the investigation, were being sold to the organization for a sum of money, each one fetching up towards $200 a picture of a VIN number. That's similar to the yards where the cars come in before delivery. With that information, with a VIN number, they have contacts. Corruption festers itself. A person working at a Service Ontario office in the Durham region area was providing information on the new registered owners of these motor vehicles after they're sold from the dealerships. So now the thieves have the key codes, they have the VIN number, and they have an address for your new vehicle. Next thing you know, they have a locksmith. With the key codes, they have a locksmith. We arrested him yesterday. His vehicle has been seized as crime-related property. They meet the locksmith with the key codes. He cut blank keys. With those keys, you get into the driver's side door of the motor vehicle. It unlocks it, deactivates the alarm. Still not going to be able to start the car. These two individuals, Joseph Mensa and his friend, I'm going to try and pronounce his name, are the kind of the directors of this whole operation. These are the leaders. These two individuals would take orders from the shipping companies and from overseas on makes, colors, models of cars, and direct them to the thieves to steal. With those key codes, with the direction, I call these guys the lead hands. These are the top guys. There's people below them who are known to us, Mondreas and Hussein. They would have laptops and electronic devices, once they're in the vehicle, to reprogram a blank key. And literally, within minutes, they plug it into the car where the diagnostic plug is for the motor vehicles that mechanics use, and reprogram a blank key so they're driving away with their brand new motor vehicle from your driveway. All this takes part in seconds or minutes. So these two individuals would be directing other individuals and assisting other individuals around the whole GTA with a shopping list of motor vehicles with blank keys, addresses, and laptops, and stealing motor vehicles. Right now, the one person, Emmanuel Kuasari, has just turned himself into 22 Division. The other two individuals are still wanted right now, which is Kevin Kuer and Nicholas Harry. So once these motor vehicles are stolen, a lot of them, members of the public, believe the GPS devices on these motor vehicles are going to help them locate them. These individuals are so sophisticated, they know how to deactivate the GPS device. So they put them into a parking lot and then take them to a cartage company. These two individuals here, father-daughter team, operate Gloria Shipping on Norfinch. Yesterday we received 3 brand new, semi-brand new vehicles out of their location, and they were arrested. Kojo is one of the main shipping people to Africa that's in this operation. The other location is 173 Advance, where one person, Albert Apichon, is wanted right now on a warrant. We could not locate him. We have arrested his partner in this. Again, they would be shipping the vehicles to Africa. Festus Nobodo, he's operated a similar place, a cartage place, shipping yard at 189 Rexdale. He's also wanted. A stolen motor vehicle, Lexus, and a stolen motor was recovered at his place yesterday. Some of the vehicles are destined for the province of Ontario. JB Auto on Eddystone was operated by this individual. Yesterday we raided his place, stolen vehicles, chopped parts, and lots of end plates were located in his place. The whole reason for putting this out is there are numerous people in the GTA that have purchased motor vehicles from these people. Not every one of them is destined to Africa. Some of the vehicles are re-registered under false companies, and then sold to unsuspecting buyers, like on Kijiji. The two individuals here are the truckers. They use 2 specific trucking companies. Their prime goal was to transport stolen vehicles in shipping containers from the cartage companies to the ports, to the CN yards. CN police are here today. They assist us greatly with this investigation. And from there, they would be put on either trains or trucks to head to Halifax, Montreal, where the CBSA would give us a hand on checking these containers, along with the RCMP doing forensic examinations right at the ports. So we would be removing the stolen vehicles from these containers in Halifax and Montreal if we missed them, and at times we use Homeland Security. Ron Marcel's here from Homeland Security to assist us with Brussels, Port of Spain, in removing those vehicles. We've seized both their tractor trailers yesterday as crime-related, offense-related property, and the province is holding them. This is type of the look of a yard, a typical yard that they come into. There's so many cans, and they're all heading for ships overseas. On a ship like this, they destined for Africa, and the prime spot is Nigeria and Ghana for these vehicles, where, as the acting deputy chief said, is fueling organized crime funding there. There's definitely direct links between the Black Axe and Joseph Mensah. We have that documented through FinTrack. These are some of the motor vehicles that are in police custody that were recovered once they're returned. The Insurance Bureau of Canada worked closely with us in this investigation to ensure that we had these vehicles in our possession to do forensic examinations on them, and it just wasn't sold at where they're located, which sometimes happens. So these are some of the vehicles that were seized. They're all within a year old. Some of them was stolen within 2 days of purchase. Some of the victims in 53 Division and 32 Division had 2 vehicles stolen from their driveway. After they had the first one stolen, they purchased a new one, another one stolen. These individuals are very sophisticated. They're not just car thieves. They're involved in heroin, drugs, and guns. Yesterday, we seized a significant amount of heroin for one of the car thieves, and we seized these firearms, which are, as you can see, are pretty scary to be on the streets. That kind of gives you an idea of what the operation is here. We believe the head of the snake is the cartage companies, the directors, and the individuals involved that are actually directing the thieves to go and steal a car with a shopping lift. The thieves will come and go. If we keep arresting the thieves, they're just going to find more thieves. It's like little workers. The individuals that we had to stop was actually the cartage companies and the directors that are actually orchestrating these sales. Basically, it's theft to order. These individuals across the seas are ordering colors, make, and models of vehicles and ensuring that that's the models and makes they're getting overseas. Yesterday, altogether, we seized 200 vehicles from these cans and another 16 vehicles on the streets prior to the arrest of in this investigation. During the investigation, we seized another 10 stolen vehicles yesterday at different locations, at residences, and at some of these business premises. So I want to really thank our partner agencies for contributing their resources to this. 300 vehicles were attributed to Toronto, 195 at the time, I believe it's 200 now for the rest of the province of Ontario. While this investigation was going on, significant amount of thefts were happening in York, Peel, and Halton, who partnered with us. And as the further distance from Toronto, there was the least amount of vehicles. We did recover vehicles stolen from Hamilton, Guelph, Waterloo, Orangeville during this investigation, all targeted by these individuals. So in closing, that is kind of the operation that we stopped, and I thank you. Prior to any questions, I want to ask Rick Dubin from Insurance Bureau of Canada, the Vice President of Investigative Services, to come up and say a few words, and then I'll take questions on this. Thank you.
Thank you. IBC congratulates all of the strategic law enforcement agencies whose work was instrumental in the seizure of and arrests of those associated with the alleged theft of 211 stolen high-end vehicles throughout the greater Toronto area, worth estimated, you've heard, $11 million. In particular, we recognize Toronto Police Service and the York, Halton, and Peel Police Service, along with RCMP, CN Rail Police, Canada Border Services Agency, for their excellent work in this project. IBC investigators in Ontario, Halifax, and Montreal appreciated working alongside law enforcement and partnering with CBSA and RCMP at the ports to identify and seize stolen vehicles in containers intended for the export to West Africa. IBC investigators assisted Canada Border Services Agency and the United States Department of Homeland Security investigators, as well as customs authorities in Spain and Belgium, to identify and intercept containers holding stolen vehicles to enable their return to Canada. IBC thanks all of the 16 affected insurance companies that cooperated and contributed to this important investigation. For the first time in 10 years, auto theft in Canada is up 1%, with just under 74,000 vehicles stolen in 2014. Organized crime is drawn to the allure of the enormous profits of this illegal activity. IBC will continue to support our law enforcement agencies in the fight against organized auto theft and other forms of insurance crime that impacts all honest policyholders. Joint investigations leading to arrests such as these will continue to significantly interfere with the operations of organized crime. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Before I take questions, just the importance again of the amount of value of loss here and how it affects all of us, because this money isn't just money out of our pockets for insurance rates, it's also going to drugs, firearms, and few other organized crimes that are out there. And it's very important that we work together in this. And the corruption, very concerning in this whole investigation is the corruption angle, how these individuals are bought, whether it be to steal keys or record keys at corporations, or even Service Ontario, member of the Service Ontario office who's providing our information that's available to them on us, whether it be health cards or addresses and vehicle information. All this is very concerning, and organized crime, that's what they do. They use money to attract individuals in that type of field so they can make it easier on themselves and makes their organized crime flourish. So because of all the good work that happened in the last 9 months in this investigation, I'm pretty confident that we're going to see a reduction in this type of car theft in the GTA. Anyways, I want to thank my partners again for all their support on this, and I'm open for questions.